The Secret of the Old Clock by Alexandra Topping. In my mum's old Aunt Lizzie's house in Donaghadee, there stood an old grandfather clock in the hall. She had tried to keep it in good condition, polished it nearly every day, although it didn't really keep time anymore, but it was lovely to have it still standing there. Then one day, something magical happened. The clock began to tick. It nearly frightened the life out of Aunt Lizzie. She couldn't believe it after all these years. We got a specialist in to have a look at the works of the clock, and when he examined it, he discovered that Uncle Jack, now passed away, had hidden gold sovereigns there, perhaps during the war, and the movement of dusting had started the clock ticking again. Aunt Lizzie was so happy that her clock was working okay again, that I promised that when I came down every 2 weeks, I would clean out the mechanism part for her. So we all sat down, and by now it was tea time. Aunt Lizzie was a great baker, so for afters we had her apple pie and fresh cream. As it was still bright outside, and the garden of the house led onto a paddock where 2 very friendly donkeys were kept. When we had finished, I took my 2 young cousins down to see them. They were delighted when the donkeys came across and took carrots out of their hands. Then the farmer who owned the donkeys came across and said to the children that if they were down earlier one day to come across and he would give them a ride on the donkeys. My cousins were so happy and couldn't wait to rush back and tell their mum. But when we went back to the house, there were 2 men there. One I knew, as he was the gentleman who'd repaired the clock, and he introduced the other as a customer of his who collects rare timepieces. He had been in his shop and had told him about our clock and thought we wouldn't mind him bringing a friend along to view it. We didn't mind at all. It was just a clock to all of us. We were all so used to it being in the hallway. The 2 men went into the hallway again and explained the clock. They must have taken at least 45 minutes. When they came back, the buyer said he had never seen such an old clock, in such good condition and in working order too. And that is why I'm going to offer you this for it. And he handed Aunt Lizzie an envelope. She opened it, sunk back against the cushions, said, "Goodness gracious," she said, "I think you've made a mistake." "No, I haven't," he replied. "I really think it is worth that much." "Well, I'm very sorry," she said. "It was my late husband's first gift to me, so I couldn't part with it for any amount of money. Anyway, at my age, money isn't important. I have enough to do me. I no longer want continental holidays. Can you just picture me on a beach in my bikini? I think not. But thank you for your offer. It was lovely to know that something my late husband bought was cherished." So we all had more apple pie and tea. The end.